All right. So we're still in the energy part of the program. We're still talking about energy. All right. So we talked about physical energy, but now we're going to talk about mental health. Right. This is very important. This is very important. Yeah. Emotions are the things that can hold you back or make you happy or make things happen right for you. We've all been through a breakup or something and it's messed with our productivity. Or has it ever happened to you? You had a breakup where something went wrong and it messed with your productivity. Yeah, we've all been there. What are you going to eliminate that? Right, family drama and all this stuff, that people stress out about, that puts a limitation on how productive they can be. What if you were invincible to that? It's very important. Let's get into it. Emotions control your behavior, whether you like it or not. Emotions control your behavior. For example, my son, when he's in a great mood, I can get him to do anything. He's a little angel. When he's in a bad mood, you know how toddlers are, right? When he's in a bad mood, I can barely get him to put his clothes on. I can't get him to eat anything. He's crying at the park. Is a goddamn nightmare, right? Emotions control your behavior. But it's not just like with babies. It's like that with you too, right? There's studies that show, there's plenty of studies that show emotions will affect not only your behavior, but your decision-making ability, right? So you already know when you're in a bad emotional state, do you make the best? Is that when you make your best decisions? Right? Right? No, of course not. You make bad decisions in bad emotional states. When you're mad, have you ever been mad and you did something you regret it? Right? You ever been sad? Yeah, man. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. That's why we have to control our emotions, because emotions will dictate your actions. Negative emotions are going to cause negative actions, right? Just like we said before. And when we've all done stuff we regret when we were mad, right? So you already know. Positive emotions equal positive actions. Now check this out. If you're making, if you're, if you're, if you if most of your actions are negative, you think you're going to make more money or less money? Yeah, less money. If most of your emotions are, most of your actions are positive, you think you're going to be more money, less money? More money, right? So check this out. Negative emotions equal negative actions, which equals less money. Positive emotions equal positive actions, which equals more money. It's all, you got to control your emotions so you control your income, right? This is important. This is very important. Jim Rohn said, this is Tony Robbins' mentor. He said, attitude drives actions. Actions drive results. Results drive lifestyle, right? So how do we control our emotions, right? And control our attitude so we get the best out of life, right? Make the most money, right? Well, it starts with something called state control. State control. State control is the ability to control your emotions despite all outside circumstances and despite how other people behave. Imagine that, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, this person made me mad, or this made me mad, or she makes me happy, or he makes me mad. No. What if you're in control? You feel how you want to feel, regardless of how these people are behaving, regardless of what's going on in your life. Wouldn't you be more powerful? You think you'd be happier? You think you'd be more resilient? Of course you are. Learning this skill is one of the most important skills you can learn in your life, right? Learning this skill will improve your life more than anything else. Stay control. And it's going to help you make significantly more money. You guys ready to dig into this? This is a really powerful video, and this video is probably worth all the money you paid to join HTC, right? So how are we going to control our states? Well, it starts with, and state, before I get into it, state means your emotional state, how you feel at the time, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're in a happy state, positive state, negative state, right? Depressed state, determined state, motivated state, you want to control it, right? And it's based off your emotions, right? But here's what you need to understand. Emotions are important. Emotions are important. We already established that, because emotions will lead to actions, and actions will lead to results. So positive emotions equal positive actions equal positive results, baby. Let's go. So the emotions are important. They're actually critical, but they're not real. Now, a lot of people get defensive when I say this. What do you mean emotions are real? Listen, tranquilo, take it down a notch. It's all good. This is going to be empowering. It's going to be empowering for you, right? Just like the spoon, right? You can control them, right? Just like the spoon in the Matrix. It's not real. You can control it. And what I mean by real is, if we look at the definition of real, the definition clearly states actually existing as a thing occurring in fact, not imagined or supposed. This is important. Not imagined or supposed. How can an emotion actually fit that description? Because emotions are nothing but neurochemical cocktails, like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, etc., that happen inside your brain. Your brain produces these chemicals. It's literally all in your head, bro. It's not real. It's literally all in your head. I'm not trying to mitigate. I'm not trying to make your emotions seem insignificant. They're wildly important. It's just not real. It's just all in your head. But it's wildly important. But you can control them. If we understand it and not real, they can be controlled by us instead of letting, because right now, you're letting outside circumstances, you're letting whatever happens in politics, whatever happens in your personal life, you're letting that control your emotions. You need to control your emotions. And if you do that, you'll be able to better control your world instead of your world controlling your emotions. It's powerful. State control will allow you to control your emotions and feel however you want to feel, regardless of circumstances. Regardless of circumstances. I had the time of my life during lockdown and the pandemic because of this, right? You know what I'm saying? I've had breakups, divorce, still made tons of money. Not saying those were great circumstances, but man, what if you can be positive under those circumstances, right? I've been in jail twice. I've never been convicted of a crime, right? But I was locked up twice overnight. And I remember being in the cell laughing and joking with people because of state control. Even though it was a bad circumstances, I was having fun within that moment, right? I'm always having fun, right? This is very important, especially because you have to be relentless. So other people, the reason a lot of people have a hard time being relentless is because they're dependent on the party or the drug or the alcohol or the TV show or the get together to make them happy. What if you just feel how you want to feel? What if you just be happy and you don't need all that other stuff? Yeah, it's a mind fuck, right? Let me show you how. There's 3 ways to control your state at any moment. There's 3 ways. All right. First is focus. It's important. Focus. So whatever you focus on, you will feel, whether it's real or not. For example, you can all get sad right now. You can get sad right now. Go ahead. Let me show you how. All you have to do is think about someone you really loved who's dead now. I'm sure you have someone who's dead. Think about all the times you're together and how they're gone, or especially if they died in some bad way, think about how much they suffered. You can get sad. Think about a pet who died and how he's gone. That can make you sad right now, only because you're focusing on it. It's not even happening right now, but you can get sad about it. You understand the gravity of this? Something that's not even happening right now can make you sad. Think about the person who cheated on you, the person who did you wrong. If you focus on that long enough, you'll get sad. Right? By contrast, you can get happy whenever you want by focusing on something good that's happened in your life, right? Focusing on something you've accomplished, focusing on anything that's good that's happening in your life. You can focus on. For example, when I feel myself in a bad state coming on, what I'll do is I have folders of my son on my phone, like folders of videos and images of him being silly and having us having fun, and that always makes me happy. He's actually my screensaver on my son. My son is my screensaver on my phone and it's a funny picture of him and I. And it makes me happy every time, and it can help me get out of a state if I need to. Or you can focus on your goals, man. Focus on what you're trying to accomplish, man. You know, that's going to help you too, right? You want to control your focus to control your state. This is the most powerful thing. But most people just let their mind run amok. They just let their mind run amok, or worse yet, whatever's happening, they focus on that, and that's their state. And that's why people make you mad or people make you happy. No one should be able to make you shit. You should be happy. And if someone else, they can like join in on it. They can join in on it. They can get down with what you got going on, but you shouldn't allow anyone to control your state. Emotions are too critical to your success to allow outside circumstances or other people to control them, right? So you got to control your focus. One of the best ways to train yourself to control your focus is meditation, right? I meditate twice a day. 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes each session, right? And you don't have to go that hard, but at least once a day, right? The benefits of meditation include, but are not limited to, reduce stress, emotional balance. You can look up the science on this, man. Increased focus, reduced pain, reduced anxiety, increased overall creativity, reduced depression, increased memory, increased compassion. This is really important for me, man, because I used to shoot people. Ha, just kidding. Increased productivity, man. You want to meditate. This is a great book. I don't have it on here, but it's a great book called Stress Less, Accomplish More. Stress Less, Accomplish More by my actual meditation mentor. Her name is Emily Fletcher. Stress Less, Accomplish More. It's an incredible book, best book on meditation ever written. But all right, so first of all, that's going to help you control your focus. That's the most important part. That's the most important part of controlling your state. But what's also really powerful is your physiology. So basically, how you move your body, right? How you hold your body, your physiology. Look at yourself right now. How are you sitting or standing, right? Are you standing like someone who has a lot of energy? Are you sitting like someone who has a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of motivation? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not there with you. I'm not there with you. It feels like I am. It feels like we're here together, but we're not, right? You can control your body can control your emotions too. So there are studies that show when people smile or laugh, their brain automatically starts producing dopamine, right? Dopamine, all emotions are these neurochemicals in your head. That's all they are. Right. So you can use your body in certain ways to actually produce more dopamine. Right. Or whatever. So this is like your facial expressions. Just start smiling. I swear to God, if you start smiling right now for an actual minute or two, like 60 to 120 seconds, you'll feel happier. Get up right now. Stand up. Do some jumping jacks. See if it doesn't change your state. Right. See if it doesn't change your state. I bought also how you stand. Right? How you stand? How do you sit? How do you sit? How are you holding your body? Is it, you can make yourself tired by like slumping over or whatever. You can make yourself depressed by slumping over, right? You want to stand energetics like a champion. You want to sit down like a champion, right? How you walk. You want to walk like a champion. You want to have a champion walk. You want to have a champion walk. This is wildly important. Everything is important. How you move your body will determine your emotions a lot. People think that they look depressed or they look sad because they're sad, and that may be the case. But if you're cognizant of it, if you say, no, I'm going to behave like a happy person, you'll start to feel it. You don't have the choice, because when you're behaving like a happy person, your brain will produce the chemicals of happiness, and then you will actually be happy. It doesn't work any other way. I actually bought a trampoline. And when I used to have people work, when I had employees before we went remote, I would make everyone jump on the trampoline before our morning meetings. Everybody's state would change immediately. And I still jump on the trampoline when I need to change my state. It's very important, right? Hold up. All right. That's very important. All right. And the next way to control your state is with your environment, right? And it's two parts of your environment. One is your location, your actual physical location, right? Do you ever, nobody's crying at the amusement park, right? I go to Central Park sometimes. I live like 2 blocks from Central Park. I know I'm rich. I go to Central Park, sometimes, and just walk around if I want to be in a better environment. But it's also the people you're around, right? This is very important. The people you're around. You will become like the people you are around. So it's very important that you if someone is depressed or negative or angry in your life, get rid of them. If you live with them, move out as fast as possible, or just don't associate with them. I'm telling you, if it's your spouse, you got to dump them. They're holding you back. They're going to hold you back. I'm telling you, get a divorce. It doesn't matter. Right? Your success is too important. Right? Because emotions are contagious. Here's just a bunch of studies that corroborate this. Emotions are contagious. You can catch other people's emotions. And you've seen this before. Have you ever been in a room? Everything was cool, and then somebody walks in with like a negative state, right? They're all pissed off, frustrated. Can you see how they change the energy in the whole room? Has that ever happened? Yeah. Have you seen it in any other circumstances, right? Have you ever seen, a place that was kind of dead, but then somebody comes in there to the life of the party, right? Have you ever seen that? Yeah, that's usually me. I'm controlling the state of around people around me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'm making cashier smile at CVS. I'm high-fiving my my super when I walk in the building. Like everybody around me's got to be happy. I'm cracking jokes with the lady at the bank. I'm controlling everyone's state everywhere I go, right? But that's because I don't want their states to control me. I take control off the rip because negative states are contagious. There's too many studies to corroborate this, right? And if you can't, you have to eliminate the negative people from your life. If somebody's just a perpetual downer or perpetually depressed, get rid of them, man. Get rid of them. Like, don't spend a lot of time. If it's a family member, then just limit your time with them to as little as possible. If you're like me, you just cut off everyone. I don't have a problem with that though. My sister yelled at me once, and I haven't talked to her in 7 years, man. I just don't need that, right? She yelled at me. I didn't do nothing wrong. And she yelled at me. I was like, oh, I don't need this kind of negativity, right? The key though is when you are in such good control of your emotions, right? Once you control your emotions, then you start controlling the emotions of people around you. You are no longer the effect. You are the cause, right? So don't let other people control your emotions. I'm telling you, I get out ahead of it. Every time I go anywhere, I'm raising other people's state. I deliberately try to make them happier. And with whether it's my smile, my tone. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, nice to meet you. Right? I'm making them happier because I don't want their negativity to run above me. It's not because I'm a nice person or a good person, right? It's selfishness. I just don't want them to be negative. What happens is people start to like you more and they want to hang around you more. It's very important. It's very important. If you want to see a master class of state control, go to a Black church. All right. I am not religious. If you're religious, that's cool. Whatever faith you have, I totally respect it. And I'm glad you found something that you enjoy. Right. But I'm not religious. My family is. I actually read the whole Bible. I read it from start to finish. I read the entire Bible, man. And, it just seemed a little far-fetched to me. Jonah lived in the whale's mouth for like mad long. He lived in a whale's mouth. What? Moses actually parted the Red Sea and they walked. The Red Sea is fucking wide, right? He parted the whole thing for enough time for them to walk back. I don't know. The whole thing seemed a little far-fetched for me. I'm gonna be honest. Anyway, but if you believe it, that's cool too. I could be wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there, bro. Right? Don't get mad at me. Right? I'm not religious, but I love going to a Black church. Right? It's a perfect example of state control. So first thing they do, they're controlling your focus. Right? The preacher's up there. He's saying some stuff like you got to believe in whatever he's saying, man. And he's doing it he's talking all, like Dr. King. He's getting people riled up. He's controlling their focus. But then he has people get up, man, get up, clap for me. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? He's controlling their physiology. He'll have everybody. All right, can the congregation please stand? Right? He'll control that's why they're always making you stand up and sit down. They don't want you to get tired. Right? They want to control your physiology, right? And then they start dancing, they start singing the song, they start singing songs, laughing and stuff, and and they get you to a peak state. Then they send around a collection bowl, right? Yeah. Hey man, that preacher's Bentley truck ain't gonna pay for itself. I say that because I go to my mom's Black church. The preacher got a Bentley truck. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's funny. But anyway, I'm glad she found something. I love going there. It's fun. She's real religious, but I'm not. But I'm like, yo, mom, let's go to church, man. I love it there. Look at that. Look how much fun it is. You leave there feeling so great, even if you don't believe nothing they said. Just that environment, the focus, change it puts you in a different state, man. Right? You need to be like that for the people you're around. Right? You got to control the state. I first learned this from a dude named Esco. Esco was like a big bro to me. He's a few years older than me, and I met him in college. Esco was like always happy every time. Everybody who met, anytime you see Esco, he was do a big smile. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? Like real upbeat, positive all the time. And he was like that with everybody, guys, girls. And what I noticed was all the girls like Esco, and he was a short dude too. I'm assuming a lot of it was because of that, right? A lot of it was his personality, man. He was just like so upbeat and positive. And also know he had like so many friends. He was so popular. Everybody loved Esco, right? And he would just seem lucky. It seemed like things just fell in his lap. And it seemed like good things were always happening for him, right? But he wasn't happy because good things were happening for him. Good things were happening for him when he was happy, right? And then so I started trying to model Esco. I wanted to be like this dude, man. He was cool. Everybody loved him. And then I saw him in New York a few years later after school, and he had seemed sad, like he lost that. He lost that. And then I don't know, it wasn't the same Esco. And then a few years later, maybe like a year and a half later, he was murdered, man. They found his body in Jersey, man. So rest in peace, Esco. But man, I learned it from him. Well, here's the thing. You can change your state at any moment, right? And when you practice being in a peak state, when you practice being in a certain state, that state becomes a habit, right? Via the neural pathways, you start to build, it becomes easier for you to be in that state. So for example, someone who's depressed all the time, right? It's because they've practiced that state over and over again and built this neural pathway of depression. That's what depression is, man. That's what depression is. And I'm not trying to, if you had suffered from depression, I do too. That's how I learned this stuff. I've diagnosed with bipolar depression. And I've been through depression states. But I manage it through state control. I don't take any drugs for it, right? My father didn't. He shot himself in the head, right? That's why I learned this stuff, right? Check this out. So practicing the state becomes a habit because you build the neural pathways. What if you can train yourself to be habitually in a positive state? What if you can habitually be in a positive, happy state? Do you think you'd make more money or less money? Right? You're a salesperson, right? You got to do sales to build your online fitness business. What kind of salesperson you think makes the most money? Someone who's sad all the time or someone who's habitually happy, right? Exactly, right? A habitual state becomes a personality, right? That's all the personality. Someone's personality is just their habitual state. And the habitual state comes from practicing the state over and over again until it becomes automatic. Are you ready to learn how to do that? All right, good. All right, so mind you, I told you I had bipolar. I had bipolar 2, right? And I would just notice, man, that I would be depressed all the time and stuff would go wrong. And I was trying to figure it out. And what I learned was what I did was I took I used to carry around a piece of notebook paper, right? It was like a little notebook, and on that paper, I would mark it here the time, and then my state from 1 to 10. So 10 would be like, okay, 10 is like the best state ever. This is like when imagine Drake once the Raptors won the NBA championship. Remember how happy he was? That's 10. 1 is, a guy sitting at his desk with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a revolver, trying to figure out if he's going to go to work or not, right? That's 1. Like the worst ever, 10 is the best ever. So I would wake up, let's say I wake up at 6, go to bed at 10. All right. I would wake up and let's say wherever my state was, probably like, low, average. And then my state might be, maybe it goes a little bit up. And then maybe it would fluctuate throughout the day. That's the thing. When people say you're happy, oh, I just want to be happy. Well, nobody's in a perpetual state of bliss. It doesn't really work that way, right? Your state can change from moment to moment, right? Maybe something bad, really bad happens. You get some bad news, it goes bad. And your state, I would just notice that my state would actually change throughout the day, depending on what was going on or what I was thinking about or what I was doing. So I would just take kind of notes of this, right? Take notes of where my state was. And this is just a graph, just random. And then I would chart it out. Bam. Okay, and then it would start to look like this, like a chart. Okay, and what I would do was I would take notes of the lows, of the valleys, and the peaks. So when my state was the best, what was going on? And when it was the worst, what was going on? Who was I with? What was I doing? Who was I talking to? Right? All right. Now here's the thing. I'm taking inventory where my state was. And what I realized was that I would have like a habitual state, right? Your habitual state was kind of like the average of this, right? It would be like the average. So Tony Robbins calls that the baseline state. So no matter where you are at, no matter how happy or sad you're gonna go back to your baseline, back to your habitual state, right? Excuse me. And I figured that if I could keep my state higher for a long period of time, I could change my habitual state, and that would be my new baseline, right? So again, like I said, I would mark the lows. I would mark where the lows were and where the highs were, right? And then I would just try to eliminate the lows and increase the highs, right? You know what I'm saying? At least the frequency. So then it would start to look like this, okay? This is just an example. So then maybe it's a little higher now. All right, cool. Right? And maybe something really good happens. 10s are really rare. A 10 on the scale is rare. Well, I would notice that my scores would be higher throughout the day. It would still fluctuate, but it would still be higher, right? So now, over time, I noticed that, my baseline state, the average, would raise, and I'll just keep notes of that. And then you can repeat the process, see where the lows are, see where the highs are. Try to do more of the highs and less of the lows, right? The things and I would notice the things that were making me making me depressed or making me sad, right? And this is how I managed my bipolar depression without I haven't had suicidal thoughts since I said I was doing this anymore. I used to have suicidal thoughts. I'm not I'm just happier. Like people say, Brandon says so happy, so positive, that's a good attitude. Well, that's because I trained myself. Like my default is not to be like that. I literally trained myself and I took inventory of it, right? And I did that with paper. Now there's a free app called iMove Journal. This is awesome. No, I don't think it's free. It might be a few dollars. No big deal, right? And it's on my iPhone and it does the same thing. So basically it ranks it from 1 to 10, right? And then you get the data and then you actually get the data. So it looks like what you can see right here is you can see the hold up. You can see like this is where I was last week. It was a great week. Now, here's the thing. It's a great week, but it wasn't like great things were happening last week. A lot of crazy stuff went on, but because I managed my emotions, it's easy. And last month, it wasn't like, I've had, I have the same amount of things happen to me, same stresses, same issues you have, right? Probably more issues than you, if I'm honest with you. Running a company with 20 employees, all their problems become my problem. It's a lot of pressure, making sure that they can survive. I don't know, it's a lot of pressure, right? And then my whole family is dependent on me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pressure, right? But I'm able to manage it better. And because my emotion is higher, I can actually I perform better under those circumstances, right? And I can just see the data. For example, 2019 was a rough year for me. A lot of stuff happened in my personal life. And I remember that my average was 6.2, right? But because I worked on it, I got it up now. I'm averaging somewhere between 7.5 and 8 all the time, right? This total is a total for the whole time I've been using this app, right? But this is very important. This is how you train your brain to become to be in a state, right? Because your personality is nothing but your habitual states. And you train your habitual states by training. So when I would see a low point, I would go back to one of the three. I would look at the three things I could do to change: environment, focus, and physiology. Right. So I have a trampoline out here. If something really bad happens, I don't stay in that state. If I see it low, it's like, I better get out of this. And I'll get on the trampoline. I'll change my physiology. I'll focus on something else. Maybe even play some music. Right. Whatever is going to get me in the right state. Because I got to be in control. I can't let the world or other people control my state, not my emotions, because my emotions dictate my actions and my actions dictate my performance, right? So so basically letting someone else control your emotions is letting other people control the amount of success you can achieve. I highly suggest you get this app and start. What I do is I set it to go off every 2 hours, and then wherever I'm at, I'm honest with myself. I just say, hey, what's the state? And then you can also it gives you the option to say what's happening right now. Then you'll start to see patterns, right? This is how in 2019, there was this girl in my life and I got rid of her. My state immediately went up. It's awesome. right? That was one thing I could do. Yeah, I could do because she was just too negative, right? She used to have panic attacks. She was just always panicking. And then one day I had a panic attack. Me, the man, had a panic attack. Can you believe it? I couldn't. And I was like, I got to get rid of this girl, right? Because emotions are contagious, right? Now you may be thinking, oh, I don't need to do that. My emotions are good. Yeah, we're not going for good, bro. We're going for elite, outstanding. And what gets measured gets managed. Just do this for 90 days. I recommend you do this for 90 days. Just track your mood for 90 days. All you gotta do is track it. See where you're at. 90 days. After that, you can do whatever you want. Who gives a fuck, right? Meditate, track your mood for 90 days. If some negative people in your life, get rid of them for 90 days. Just 90 days. Watch your life improve. I promise you, you'll probably want to stay doing this. This is probably one of the most important videos you've ever watched. I'm telling you. All right. But now we're going to get into, in the next video, we're going to get into how your environment plays a role in your energy and how much success you have. This is a very important video too, especially for entrepreneurs. You're going to avoid one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make that holds them back if you watch the next video. Let's get into it.